Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato Amma sambuddhassa. Sahavassa dassana sampadaya yasu dhamma jahita bhavanti sakkaya ditti vichikiccitancha ilabbatam vapi yadanti kinchi Tatuha paye hicha vipamutto kachabhitanani ababhokatum idampi sanghe ratanam panitam etena sachena suvanti hotu. Venerable Chief Naikahandro, Venerable Sirs, friends and children in the Dhamma, welcome for our Saturday Dhamma talk. Today this talk is being sponsored by Kanchana and Utpala Pereira with the aspiration that as a blessing for their son's Kenneth's birthday, 10th birthday, aspiring his well-being, his bright future, as a blessing, they sponsor this Dhamma talk. And also the friends in New Jersey connected with this temple, New Jersey Buddhist Vihara, aspire to dedicate all these merits Mrs. Dinesha Galapati for her 10th death anniversary. So for these aspirations to be fulfilled, let's rejoice this Dhamma. Let's share this Dhamma. And with the sharing and rejoicing, the greatest merit that we generate in our hearts, a blessing for Kenneth, for his bright future, for his well-being, and for his parents, Mr. and Mrs. Kanchana and Utpala Pereira, and other siblings in the family. And may these merits be a supportive factor for Mrs. Dinesha Galapati, for her present existence, wherever it is, to be blissful, happy. And so with these aspirations, let's begin this Dhamma talk. Today we are continuing the Ratana Sutta. We are explaining the 10th verse. Now, in our former talk, if you recollect, you can remember, we talk about the establishment of a noble person, noble individual, on the 4 noble truths. That establishment was compared to a city post, which is called Indrakila. Such a strong establishment in the 4 noble truths make person to realize that 4 noble truth, and that realization brings him to the status of the supramundane path called Sotapanna, stream entry. And with that attainment to the stream entry, he avoids taking 8 rebirths in the samsaric journey. That means the maximum of rebirths that he will take is limited for 7 rebirths. Now, today, in this verse, Buddha is explaining other benefits and results for somebody who attained to that stage of Sotapanna. But more than that, this verse is explaining the factors of the Sotapanna, the stage of Sotapanna. So let's go on explaining this important verse in this Ratana Sutta, where Buddha tries to clarify the state of Sotapanna further. Saha vassa dassana sampadaya. Dassana sampadaya. Dassana is translated, it means seeing, ability of seeing. Somebody who possessed that ability of seeing. Now, in the Buddha's eyes, as long as you are blind to the truth, as long as the truth is oblivious to you, you are not really seeing. Your seeing is not complete. Your vision is not perfect. The right vision or the correct vision is to happen when somebody sees or starts seeing the truth as it is. Because that truth liberates. That truth guides for you to develop wisdom. And that wisdom liberates. So the person in the supramundane path who is cultivating his spirituality is shunning himself to the lies, to the false, and opening himself to the truth. Now with what? With his ability of seeing the truth as it is. This ability, this capability is to be developed little by little. Now, in the former stanza, in the 9th stanza, Buddha said that if somebody listens to his words, to the teaching of the Buddha, his eyes for the truth will be opened. Buddha's words are that capable, that powerful, to open somebody's wisdom to the reality. But of course, Buddha is not existing anymore. Physically, he is absent. So what would be opening our eyes to the truth? The Dhamma, the recorded Dhamma is still there. His words are still very much alive in the form of words in the books. So if somebody get to know this Dhamma and realize this Dhamma or understand this Dhamma based on an empirical experiment, practical experiment, That experiment is what we call the meditation. Meditation is to experiment yourself what you learn in the books. If your knowledge is limited to the books, if your knowledge is limited to the knowledge you borrow from the books, that is a borrowed knowledge. That knowledge is not yours. It was somebody else's. It was Buddha's knowledge. You just by-hearted them, memorized them. Of course, you can show that you are very intelligent by repeating them. But that repetition doesn't make you intelligent or wise, because it has never changed your inner being. It has no effect in your consciousness, vijnana. It is just limited for your memory. So the Dhamma you learn, put into practice, and in that practice, kind of an understanding arises in you. That understanding liberates you. Higher that understanding becomes, more and more will be your liberation. So those days while Buddha was alive, he knows your temperament. If you go to see him, he knows you better than you know yourself. So he can light up or kindle your wisdom with his words, because he knows your capability. He knows your status of your understanding. He will swoop down to that level, and from that level he will elevate you in your wisdom. So people became Sotapanna, stream winners, just by listening to the Buddha. Just a Dhamma talk, just a singular sermon was enough for them to kindle their wisdom. So they enter onto the first stage of sainthood. With that just mere listening to the Buddha. But it doesn't mean that is the only path. Now, today, if we are to practice on the words of the Buddha, the first one to fulfill is, of course, Sila. Sila is physical and verbal serenity. Physically and verbally, you are not hyper. You are serene. Your words are confined only for useful words. And you discard those useless blabber, useless blabbering. For example, lying, musavada, slandering, harsh words, gossiping. You discard them and you will find you have nothing much to talk. You can be more silent after that. You can be more and more quiet. When you discard those four unwholesome types of speech, lying, slandering, harsh words, gossiping, frivolous talk, whatever you name them, you discard them. You find the peace in your mouth with less to talk. Then, of course, the actions. You slow down yourself. You become less and less hyper and more calm and quiet in your actions. This is the aspiration when we observe precepts, to calm down ourselves physically and verbally. This physical and verbal calm down is supportive for the mental serenity. Then we can concentrate. We can be one-pointed on a particular selected object and continue to be that one-pointedness, this concentration, this serenity, continue to maintain. We call that samadhi. Based on this calmness, physical level, calmness, mental level, sila and samadhi, then with that calmness, based on that calmness, one starts observing the truth as it is, observing his experiences as they are. What are the experiences? Visions that we see with our eyes, the sounds we hear, the smells, the tastes that we feel, and the tangibles that we feel on our bodies. Those experiences we start observing as they are. When we are observing as they are means, we don't name them, we don't judge them, we don't hang on to them, we don't reject, we don't accept anything. We are not attached to anything, we are not hating anything, observing as they are. When you are observing as they are, there is one particular reality that all meditators, all practitioners observe without any difference. All observe that they are momentary. They are existing but moment to moment. What you experience in one moment is never equal what you experience in the next moment. All our experiences are just momentary phenomena. This momentariness is what we experience as we continue to observe these phenomena happening around us or happening within us acutely, sharply, and with keen eyes, with a keen observation. He finds that they are all changing, momentary phenomena, which is we call impermanence, anicca. Then he finds, if I am attached, if I try to grasp, if I try to collect, if I try to possess these momentary phenomena, what happens? I suffer. Because they are changing and I am trying to grasp them. They are changing, I am trying to possess them. This is sheer stupidity. This is sheer ignorance. And what is the point of reacting to those things? I see somebody I don't like, and I react to that vision with hatred. I see somebody I like, and I react to that person with greed, lobha, with attachment. But these two persons themselves are not permanent. They are momentarily changing. They are changing moment to moment. No one is good forever. No one is bad forever. Yesterday somebody was good. It doesn't mean that person is good today. He might have changed his entire attitude, entire nature completely. A criminal must have been yesterday, but today he could have become a saint. A saint yesterday could have become criminal today. Who is going to be as same as without changing forever? Everybody is changing. There is nothing significant in it, nothing wrong with it. The wrong is I am trying to grasp, I am trying to hold on to them, I am trying to possess them. That is the mistake. So with the vision on the truth of this changing phenomena, one stops the usual pattern of the mind, which is called grasping, which is called possessing. He observes them with the wisdom that these are changing phenomena. Everything is changing. I am changing. Everything around me changing. So his nature of being attached is less now, less and less. His attachment become lesser and lesser effective on him, because he knows that I am trying to be attached to the things which are changing, to the things which exist only momentarily. And with this understanding of changing and impermanence, then arise the non-self. He doesn't try to anything possess. He doesn't try to identify anything with I, my, or mine, because everything is changing. This is the triple characteristics of the truth that one understands with that observation. Dasanena sampanno. The one who has the vision is that vision. The one who sees things as they really are, impermanent, suffering, and non-self. Dasana sampadaya, sahavassa dasana sampadaya, just with his gaining of insight, if you translate it. Tayassu Dhamma jahita bhavanti. Dhamma, this has nothing to do with the teachings of the Buddha. Dhamma is mental states. Tayassu Dhamma, triple mental states, jahita bhavanti, are abandoned. With that vision of the Dhamma, triple mental states are abandoned. These triple mental states are hindrances, are fetters, are troubles, are bondages. Their job is to bind you to the repeating existence of samsara. Repeatedly, we are just dying just to come back. Dying this body, but never going anywhere else. We are just coming back again. Yeah. Death is just limited for the body. The guest inside the body never dies. He just leave one body behind, jump into a new body. Repeatedly, again and again, moving from one body to another. That is the goal of the defilements within us. Tayassu Dhamma, triple kinds of such mental states which function as fetters are jahita bhavanti, are abandoned. He abandons 3 states of mind. Remember, these 3 states of mind are nothing but the fetters, obstacles for one to attain Nibbana. Right? Nibbana is very far away. If you aim for Nibbana, nothing wrong with it. But my concern, my understanding is we have to aim for Sotapanna, the first stage of stream entry. Because if you attain there, after that the Nibbana is something for sure to happen. If you even practice hard after that, if you even don't practice hard after attaining to Sotapanna, you won't be taking 8 rebirths. Only 7 rebirths will be there for you. So aiming for the Sotapanna is the something that we can all aim for, because only triple states of mind are to be abandoned. What are these triple states of mind? Sakkaya ditti vicikiccitancha silabbatang vapi adatante kinchi. Sakkaya ditti. Translated, self-identity view or false sense of identity, wrong identity view, Sakkaya Ditti. Now, in the suttas, Majjhima Nikaya, we can find a clear explanation of what is this Sakkaya Ditti. What is this identity view? Ditti is view. Sakkaya, identity. It is to view that these 5 factors of the life or 5 aggregates of the life, what do we call panchakhanda, panchaskanda, panchakhanda. 5 aggregates, pancha, 5. Form, the physical form. As long as we are living in this physical form, moment to moment, what do we get? Feelings, sensations that arise in this body. Yeah, in the 5 senses. Through the 5 senses, we receive the sensations from outside. We see something. That means some object in the outside. Its color has touched our eyes. Only the eye can be touched. Those colors are visible to us. It means the contact. Those colors, when they contact with our eyes, that contact create a sensation, feeling. When the sounds contact our ears, it creates a sensation, a feeling. When a taste touch our tongues, a sensation arises. So the body exits, and based on this body, feelings arise, second aggregate. After feeling arise, what happened? We understand them. We understand them. Sanya arise. Perceive them. Of course, that perception is a mental work. We perceive as we like, whether we like or not. It is different to each and every person. Nobody perceive in the same manner as somebody else. Different manner of perceiving is there. Perception is a mental one. It has nothing to do with the sound we hear, or the vision we saw, or the taste that touches our tongue. It is all mind. With the mind we perceive them. Perception arises. That is the third aggregate. Then the fourth one, formations. Saṅgha. This is the karma side. We react to that one. We react to what we saw. We react to what we hear. Whether it is somebody desirable, something I like, or something I don't like. Then we react to the ones we don't like with hate, to the ones we like with love, with craving, with desire. We react to them. These reactions create some energy within us. These reactions accumulate something within us, deposit something within us. Yeah? So the fourth aggregate is Saṅgha. Then the last one is Vijnana, the consciousness. What is lying within us. All these together causes this Vijnana to arise. Vijnana, we can say, you hear something, or you see somebody you like, then what happened? You create some kind of, first you create a sanya, and then based on that sanya perception, you react to that perception. Yeah. And with that reaction, there is a certain kind of mentality is created within you. Certain kind of mind is created within you. Happy mind is created. Now that happy mind is based on what? Based on your perception and your reaction to that perception. Yeah. That happy mind is your consciousness at that moment. Yeah. So the form, feelings, perceptions, formations, and consciousness, these 5 aggregates are our life. We live moment to moment with the function of these 5 aggregates. Yeah. With the function of these 5 aggregates, our life exists. Now, when these 5 aggregates are functioning within us, unknowingly, we are applying the self on it. The self is atta, or I, or my. When you feel something, you apply, this is my feeling. This is me. Yeah. So Buddha says there are 4 ways that you apply to the idea of self. Let's say the material form, the number 1 aggregate. Material form as self. Self as possessed of material form. Material form as in self, or self as in material form. Let's say feeling. Feeling as self, my feeling. Yeah, something like that. Self as in feeling. feeling as in self, self as possessed of feeling, or self as in feeling. Likewise, for all the 5 aggregates, this idea of self is applied. It is there. Of course, we don't have time to explain this further, but it is there. Now, Sakkaya Ditti is the view, the vision, the understanding, the thinking based on this self in these 4 forms on these 5 aggregates. Now 4 multiplied 5 means 20. 20 types of self are there based on these 5 aggregates. In another explanation, I found this. The application of the self to the 5 aggregates. It says to be identical with any of the 5 aggregates, to be independent of any of the 5 aggregates, to be the owner of any of the 5 aggregates, to be contained in any of the 5 aggregates. I know for some people this could be not so understandable, but what I'm trying to explain to you is how this self, idea of self, is generated based on the 5 aggregates of form, feeling, perception, formations, and consciousness. Now, let's connect with what I was telling you earlier. We were talking about vipassana, the special observation. Observe that all what is happening around you in the eyes of impermanent, suffering, and non-self. Now, when this observation going on, do you think any kind of self can be created? This is how Buddha explains to destroy the foremost barrier, foremost fetter for one's attaining to the Sotapanna with the practice of vipassana. Yeah, you observe all the phenomena that occurring around you or within you in the eyes of, in the visions of impermanence, suffering, and non-self. Anicca, dukkha, and anatta. So with that, that first barrier is destroyed. Self-identity view or wrong identity view. Sakkaya Ditti is annihilated with the continuous practice of vipassana. Yeah. Now the second barrier, second obstacle is vicikiccha, doubt. Doubt is, we can say, perplexity. Dubious mind, that you don't have a standpoint that this is the path, ekayano maggo, this is the right path, correct path, straight path to Nibbana. If you don't have such an strong, such a standpoint within you about this Dhamma, about this teaching of the Buddha, you cannot put 100% or wholehearted sacrifice for that practice. Your effort, your sacrifice is lukewarm, whether it is right or not. You are in a dubious mind. You are overwhelmed with the doubts of the Buddha, of his teachings, of the Saṅgha, of the practice, of the past, prenatal past, past before your birth, post-mortem future, what happens about the future after death, past and future together, and the formula of dependent origination. These are the areas where this spiritual practitioner, where a developer of spirituality could be doubtful. Buddha, Dhamma, Saṅgha, practice past, future, past and future together, and the dependent origination. So when you develop continuously with the empirical experience of the truth as it is, these doubts bound to vanish. And when he attains to Sotapanna, he would not have any doubt about these factors that I just mentioned. Vichikicha, the perplexity of the mind, is gone. Now the third one is Silabbata Paramasa, attachment or adherence to rites and rituals, with the aspiration that these rites and rituals would give me one day the ultimate liberation, or the aspiration or aspiring the Nibbana. During the Buddha's time and even today, you can find many people doing all sorts of ritualistic performances. Their inner idea is that they will attain Nibbana because of this merit. If you think merit can bring you Nibbana, it is completely wrong itself. Merit is to elevate your standard in whatever life you get. You will have a luxurious, pleasant, beautiful life wherever you take rebirth with the power of your merit. It is an accessory for your life to be a pleasant one. That is the function of merit. Merit is not for Nibbana. Nibbana happens when you develop the parami, perfections, when you develop your ability of letting go, your ability of detachment, when you develop your ability of understanding the true nature of phenomena, anicca, dukkha, anatta. That's the only way. That is ekayano maggo, the only path. Understanding the phenomena as they are. If you are still disillusioned by those phenomena, the sounds you hear, the sights you see, the experiences you gain based on this form, and you think them as permanent, everlasting, eternally existing, that ignorance will never open your eyes to the reality. Only in the gradual progress, based on sila, you develop samadhi, and based on both of these sila and samadhi, you develop wisdom. And that wisdom liberates you, because that wisdom opens your eyes to the truth as it is. So the third factor is Silabbata Paramasa. Sakkaya Ditti Vichikicha Silabbata Paramasa. Now Buddha going on to the next line. Chatuha paye hicha vippamunto chachabithanani ababhokatum. Such a person who eliminated 3 of these defilements would never Chatuhapaye hicha vipamutto. He is also freed from the rebirth in the four woeful realms. Four woeful realms. Of course, we can say four hells. The hell, animal realm, asura realm, and the ghost realm, hungry ghost. Four hellish realms. He will be never reborn there. Why? Because when you develop your wisdom to such a positive standard, that wisdom creates such a positive consciousness within you, and that consciousness will never harbor any kind of negative status, negative thoughts, negative consciousness to bring you down to that lower level of hellish realms. So your life, how many ever rebirths you are going to take, will be combined to the sensual blissful realms, fine material realms, and immaterial realms. Kamavachara bhumi, Rupavachara bhumi, and Arupavachara bhumi. You won't go down to the sensual, unblissful realms. Yeah, sensual realms where suffering is the dominant factor. The hells. You won't be born in hell. So this is the first benefit for someone who attains to the first stage of sainthood, Sotapanna, that he will be never taking rebirth in one of the hells, in any of the hells. Yeah, because his consciousness, which is devoid of sakkaya ditthi, false sense of identity, vicikiccha, doubt, and silabbata paramasa, the adherence to rites and rituals. Such a consciousness will never go down to the lower levels of creating such unwholesome, negative energy in that consciousness for him to be born in such lower degree of realms, in hellish realms. So Buddha says he is also freed from rebirth in the four woeful realms. Hatu hapaye picchavipamutto chachabithanani ababbo khatum. There is no other karmic energy to generate the life in hell or rebirth in hell than the 6 heinous crimes. Chachabithanani. Cha abhithanani. Of course, here Buddha doesn't say that the 6 heinous crimes. He says 6 states of mind. He is incapable of committing the 6 major misdeeds. But in the stanza, you won't find that major misdeeds or heinous crimes. It says 6 states of mind. Maybe at that time, these 6 states of mind must be very much well known among the noble communities, spiritual communities. So without stating that they are bad or wrong, Buddha says he will not commit these 6 states of practicing. What are these 6 states? We can say matricide, killing one's mother; patricide, killing one's father; killing an arahant; wounding a Buddha; creating schism in the Saṅgha. Then the last one is permanent adherence to wrong view, niyata miccāditthi, permanent engulfed in wrong view. Now, if somebody is to develop these wrong views and all the other heinous crimes, his rebirth is bound to be with no other option to be born in one of the hells. In fact, it will be in one of the lowest type of hells, the hells where the suffering is very much dominant. Yeah. Sanjiva Kala Sutta Saṅghāta, Rorua Maharorua Tāpana Mahatapana Avici. These are the names that we find in the Pāli literature for those hells where throughout their lifetimes they have to suffer until they finish off their karmic energy. So these 5 heinous crimes, if somebody to do or to perform after that, no spiritual development would help him to get out of that karma. No good karma, no positive karma will help him to get rid of that heinous crime. Yeah. Now it says, Ajasatta, with the wrong association, with the wrong people to associate, he was tempted to kill his own father. And he killed his father. And he had to suffer in that very life itself immensely. After that, in the later years of his life, he met the Buddha. He listened to the Buddha. He helped Buddha. He supported this dispensation of the Buddha. But none of those good deeds could stop him, could prevail him going to hell. And and Devadatta, he became a monk, and he developed on concentration. He attained to jhanas. He could do psychic miracles. Yeah. He developed such a powerful jhanic states, meditative absorptions, but yet later he committed these heinous crimes. What happened? His jhanas are gone. His rebirth occurred in one of the hells. So this powerful are these 6 heinous crimes. And Buddha says, if somebody attains to the Sotapanna, the stage of stream entry, he will never ever perform any kind of these 6 heinous crimes. In Pāli, heinous crimes, they call it anantariya karma. And there is another term in Abhidhamma we can find for this anantariya karma, garuka karma, heavy karma. Yeah. The weight of this karma is so powerful. If somebody is committed any of this karma, the subsequent life is bound to occur in one of the hells. So the second benefit that a Sotapanna receive in his life in his sansaric journey is that he will never ever commit any of these 6 crimes. Yeah. These are the Dhamma that we can find in this stanza. Let's go through again a bit. Sahavassa dassana sampadaya. Just with his gaining of insight. Tayasu dhamma jahita bhavanti. He abandons 3 states of mind. Sakaya ditti vichikichitancha, self-identity view, skeptical doubt. Ilabbatang vapiyadanti kinche, and whatsoever grasping to mere rules and observances. Tatuha paye hicha vipamutto, is also freed from rebirth in the 4 woeful realms. Chachabithanani ababbo katum, and is incapable of committing the 6 major misdeeds. Idampi Saṅghe Ratanam Panitam, verily in the Saṅgha is this superb jewel. Etena Sachena Swanti Hotu, by virtue of this truth, may there be peace. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Today, this Dhamma talk, as I mentioned earlier, is being sponsored by Mr. and Mrs. Kanchana and Utpala Pereira. Their aspiration is to share these merits for the blessing of their son, Kemit, for his 10th birthday, for his well-being, for his future benefit. 15th birthday is celebrating, and this merit, we aspire for him to future blessing, future benefit, for him to be well and happy, to be successful in his future. And also we are dedicating these merits together with all the friends in New Jersey connected with this New Jersey Buddhist Vihara, to Mrs. Dinesha Galapatti for her 10th death anniversary, wherever she is now, however she is now, for her life, for her present existence to become blissful, happy, and peaceful. So let's share these merits to all the divine beings as well as the departed ones. Akasattha cha bummattha devanaga mahiddhika punyantang anumoditva tirang rakkhantu loka sasanam. Akasattha cha bummattha devanaga mahiddhika punyantang anumoditva tirang rakkhantu loka sasanam. Akasattha cha bummattha devanaga mahiddhika punyantang anumoditva tirang rakkhantu loka sasanam. Idang me ñātinang hotu sukita huntu ñātayo. Idang me ñātinang hotu sukita huntu ñātayo. Idang me ñātinang hotu sukita huntu ñātayo. Blessings for you. Dukkha roga bhaya vera soka sabbe upaddava aneka antaraya pi vinassantu ca tejasa Jaya siddhi dhanam labham sotti bhagyam sukham balam siriya yuchavanno cha bhogam buddhi cha yasava tatavasaja ayucha jiva siddhi bhavantu te ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti mevacha ato nibbana sampatti iminate samijjatu. Sadhu.